Welcome back, everyone,
to another week
of your favorite crypto podcast,
Sometimes Crypto,
the Unscripted
Crypto Podcast.
Hey yo.
Ayo.
For those who do see this podcast, I am in a different setup, not by choice. It's next episode we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yep.
Currently house sitting.
House sitting. Fun
With
job.
that new fun, it's a pretty easy job.
With that happy.
With that news. Happy New Year's, everyone. 2026.
Yes,
This
sir.
is the first episode back of the year.
Exciting. I think 2026 is one of these years where we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens this year.
I was gonna say something, but you know what? I don't want to jinx myself. I was like, I'm not gonna jinx myself. I'm gonna let it play out.
Yeah, might as well. Just a little bit further back. Camera doesn't seem to be focusing on me. Or
Yours?
losing focus, better said. Yeah. But it's all good. I think we're fixing it. I think it's been fixed. 2026 has been off to a crazy start.
Yeah. You know what? It has been. It's been a crazier start for some more than others.
Yep. We have some big highlights for tech. We have obviously government stuff going on. And I started watching this YouTube channel that just gives good news. Like, it's just good news.
Oh,
and
that's good.
2025 seems to have ended on a pretty good note. A lot of optimism for 2026 overall.
Drop the name of the YouTube channel you're watching, so the viewers can also join you on that adventure of good news.
I think it's just that, good news.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm going to double check it, but I'm almost certain it's just good news.
That's even better if it's just good news.
Yeah, just straight up good news. That's all it is.
That's what matters.
Yeah, I like that whole mission. But I guess it's time for us to get into it for 2026.
I mean, I guess we start off on the most hot button topic that happened about 6 days ago, right? 6 days ago?
Yep.
Literally, as I'm leaving Miami, this news occurred.
Yeah. As you're leaving, was that the night of or the night before?
I think it happened the night of. I think Maduro got snatched like 4 a.m. on the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. What was your first initial thought? I want to know your first initial thought when you read Maduro was captured by the U.S.
So my initial thing, this isn't like, I didn't read it actually. So I was visiting my family, and I was sleeping in my room, and the room next to my room is where my grandparents sleep, and I woke up to my grandpa saying, "Oh, cogieron a Maduro, cogieron." And I'm like, "Oh, damn!" I was like, "They got Maduro." My initial thought was that, oh, they killed him, but as the news came out and I started hearing more, I was like, oh no, they captured him. Personally, I was pretty happy for Venezuelans, because I do know, or at least the Venezuelans that I know, are super glad that he's no longer.
He got snatched.
Yeah, he's no longer over there. As any political event, there's always going to be two people, people on both sides of the aisle. In my personal
circle
perception of this, it does seem like most Venezuelans are glad that Maduro got snatched.
So I'm not gonna say my personal circle of Venezuelans are happy he got snatched. Because the way I saw news on Instagram, scrolling, I just read Maduro captured. Then I saw the videos then when he finally got brought into New York, I was just like, we just did that. The U.S. just went to another country, 4 a.m, snatched them, walked out of there.
Yeah, super fast.
So the meme was that in the Stranger Things ending, this dude did like a monologue of him like being gay from like what I read, and the monologue was longer than what it took the Delta Force to like snatch him outside of his bedroom, outside of the compound, not bedroom.
I haven't watched Stranger Things, so I'm assuming like the entire episode of Stranger Things was a monologue of someone like coming out of the closet.
No, like they like the 6 minute, like there was a specific amount of time where he did a monologue of like just a speech, and it was him coming out the closet. From what I understand, like I don't know if it came out. I don't watch Stranger Things. I don't know. I just saw a picture of it, and they were comparing the time frames. Guys, don't. I don't know.
Okay, so. Yeah, don't hate us for not watching Stranger Things.
Don't hate me for not watching Stranger Things. I tried it. I didn't like it. It is what it is. And it just said like it took more time for it. Like it took less time to capture Maduro than what it did for that ending.
That's funny.
But my also like very first initial thought process was I'm like the U.S. government just went to another country and took I'm gonna say sitting president, even though no one has viewed him as a president. He's as a president for like the last 3 elections, but I'm gonna say they took down captured a sitting president and his wife.
Sitting illegitimate president, we could say.
Yeah, you could say that too, and his wife.
The last 3 administrations, the United States administrations, have seen it like that.
Well, Venezuela too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it was
other countries in the United Nations also see it that way.
Correct.
So essentially, illegitimate president in America labeled what is it? Narco-terrorist leader.
Narco-terrorist, yeah. Which I'm not gonna say there aren't drugs coming in or out of Venezuela. I really don't know, right? But if you put that aside, he's not the greatest guy in the world. That you know.
Yeah, definitely not even remotely close. No. I mean, the guy was so disliked that he was being protected by like a third of his security detail were Cubans. So
he didn't even trust his own people.
He didn't even trust his own people.
So and I, on top of that, did you know that the majority, like a lot of internal like military aspects of Venezuela's like military all have like they have Cuban intelligence running through it. Mm-hmm. I found out today watching a podcast, listening to a podcast with his name is Julian Dory with I forgot the other guy's name, but it came out like 4 days ago, and they're talking about the situation.
Yeah, it's like Cuba's whole thing was send help, aid, usually medical aid, to Latin American countries and countries outside of Latin America also, like Angola and Africa. Then send political advisors, security detail for other politicians, and then they would send
resources,
intelligence.
Intelligence. That's a resource.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I just didn't know if you meant like resources like for the country. No, like they said.
Well, that's also
like, resources for Cuban government out there.
Yeah.
And Cuba's been doing this for a while.
I mean, multiple
decades. I actually sent you an Instagram reel. One of the Instagram reels I sent you earlier today was about one of those. I don't know her name, but apparently there was a Cuban informant in the Pentagon a handful of years back, if not more.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cuba has a history of doing that.
100%. I mean, and I think we should make something very clear if it's not clear. Alex, are you for war?
No.
I'm also not for war. War is bad, right? For the most part, we can agree on this?
Yeah, that's very clear. Yeah.
Very clear?
Not for war.
We're not for war. And at the same time, even if we're being told it's for drug trafficking, for narco terrorism, even if you don't want to believe it, but more, yeah, but people, I'm 100% oil. I'm 100% for oil. Like, what I'm saying is, even if it's not truly for narco terrorism, right? Let's say it's for the complete self-interest of the U.S. wanting to take the oil that's within Venezuela, put it back in U.S. power.
Mm-hmm.
If we get rid of the terrible government they have now and do a better job of implementing, because I'm 100% certain the U.S. had to have learned with the mess it made in Afghanistan and Iraq and all those places in the Middle East, assuming they learned and they do put a better president, or they assist Venezuela in some way, shape, or form to become better, that taking a sitting non-illegitimate president from power is a good thing.
So, for good portion of those statements, I would say yeah. However, I watched like Trump's press conference after the fact to see what he was going to say about that whole like transition, because like you take someone of leadership like that, you leave a power vacuum.
Correct.
That needs to be filled. And the whole thing that I had is like, oh, he's an illegitimate president that needs to be removed. The whole narco-terrorism and that aspect of him being an illegitimate president was kind of how America got its opportunity to go in and take him. I was listening to Trump's press conference to see how they plan on filling that in, and what I did not like was that he said that he has not had communications with the essential like candidate that people wanted to be president. I don't know her full name. I think ends with Machado.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not want to support her. It's like, okay, well, I understand not directly putting her into place, because like, oh, if the election was faulty, maybe not, but not just put someone in place like that. But he just didn't want to do like support in any way. I feel like there should be some due process, democracy for finding someone, and I didn't really see much conversation on that.
I agree with you, and I will also agree it's probably like a misstep. It probably wasn't said, or there isn't enough like information out there to really like for them to like better state what their true not angle, but the path forward is. Because I saw a guy who was breaking it down. He's like, you can't just put anyone who's going to be like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and help the U.S. 100%. Because even with internally, you still have the same people who were part of that regime, who prospered from that regime for the last 20 plus years now. So those people would all go against whoever they put in power. So I think part of it might have to be also like not the U.S. going in. I'm against the U.S. going in there and wiping out like the establishment. I don't think that's the smart move. But I do think it's on track for, with help of the U.S., because they're not going to be able to do it alone, with help of the U.S. and doing it in a legal manner. Whoever assisted in these presidential things, or these last three elections to like help Maduro, or like push, whoever helped enslave and impoverish Venezuela for the last 20 years since he's been in power, should face consequences within their own country, by their own system, and by their own people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a harder thing to do, since there's so much corruption in the entire system.
Yeah, corruption runs deep usually.
Corruption, yeah. So I'm assuming it's going to be in no way, shape, or form is Venezuela going to fix every single problem it has tomorrow or the next day. It's a long process.
No, but like that's now that you bring up like that whole long process aspect of it, Trump's like saying, "Oh, we're gonna bring oil, like gas prices down, potentially bringing it down to $1 even. I think, $1 a gallon. That's still gonna take a lot of time. Like the infrastructure needs to be rebuilt. So, like the economic prosperity that like the American organization is searching for, that's also gonna take time. My concern in terms of like in Venezuela is that I believe I heard that Trump was talking to the vice president, the like or current like current
The temporary sitting vice president.
yeah, temporary sitting president.
Yeah.
And saying that she was willing to be cooperative, because mind you, the Trump administration did give Maduro opportunities to step down from power, and he was like, "That's not happening."
Yeah.
So the current sitting president, she's apparently being cooperative, and I just think that you're just keeping the same people there, essentially, just a weaker version of what was there before. And my personal opinion is that that should probably be just completely removed from the system.
Yeah, so I wouldn't give you pushback against like removing her. I'm not against that idea, but I think Marco Rubio said this talked about this. He goes, because they asked him, why didn't you take out all these other people? He goes, because we took down, you want us to take 5 people, we took 2 of them, and you're making this like hissy fit about this one who we all can agree is not a good person or who has ruined the country, but you want me to go in and take 5 other ones?
Yeah.
Like what? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, we can't just go in and do that. Like, we took the one who is the leader, who is all these things, whether he is or isn't. I'm not getting into like the conspiracy, like to that rabbit hole. But he was just trying to point out, like, he goes, essentially, in my eyes, he was like, I would love to. You guys wouldn't allow it. It would look terribly upon the U.S. if we were to just go in and snatch everyone.
I would agree with that.
So I think to your point though is and going back to like the oil, you're right that maybe the infrastructure within Venezuela would take a while to like, it's gonna take at least 5 to 6 years minimum to like produce more refined there. However, with the oil they already do pump out. If we just if Venezuela were to start just diverting it from Russia and China, meaning Russia and China doesn't get free oil anymore from Venezuela, it starts going to the U.S. The U.S. from there can just refine it in other places where we have refineries. Like even before, like because I in that same podcast, like he goes, there are plenty of refineries within Latin America that like Venezuela could pump out the oil, you take it to the other refineries. It still there's a cost and all this, but it still bolsters their ability to produce while fixing infrastructure and a way to sell it to the U.S. That's
not operating at a complete like out of pocket type situation.
Because mind you, there will be some flow. Mind you, as of right now, whatever oil they did produce was being just given to Russia and China for free.
Mm-hmm.
So any oil that they would to give to America that they sell would actually be money coming in to the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, now sales to it's Russia, China, and one of the Middle Eastern countries also.
Yeah,
they're
Iran
gonna want the oil. They're like they're not happy about it, but they just want oil, and we'll sell them the oil. Ultimately, is what's gonna happen there. So I think ultimately it is a good thing for Venezuela and America. And you did bring up like the whole Russia-China thing, and I think this whole entire thing, in part, is also a flex of power, display of power is
100%.
Because Russia and China were both saying no, America doesn't have the right to do that, and yet they did nothing. They couldn't. They did. There's no way.
You know what's even crazier? Mind you, we did. There was a small show of power when Bin Laden was killed, And even that became criticized because, oh, we lost a helicopter, this and that. It took so long, like, to find them. A whole thing. Like, there's a lot of criticism in around it. And U.S. forces, like, whatever. They were like, the U.S. military was like, you know what? Forget about the SEALs. Get Delta Force in. There's no games here. This is in, out. We're done. And the way I saw it was like, as you said, military. I was like, oh, they just snatched them. So meaning any other country, you can get snatched too.
Oh, 100%. I think more so, it puts Cuba in a position of fear, because Venezuela had oil to offer. What does Cuba have to offer besides like geographic location? Not much.
Nothing. That's why they've always said, like, there's no point of the U.S. ever going to, like, invade Cuba, because there's nothing for Cuba to benefit from it.
This except
for U.S. to benefit from Cuba.
I think there is, and that's mostly the geographic location. If America were to have better relationships with Cuba, like, that's it. The entire Caribbean, what is it? Sea, the Caribbean area. I don't know. Is it a sea?
It is a sea.
Yeah, so all that's already, like, down under control, because last thing we want would be Cuba allowing a foreign ship or adversary ship to come in. That is correct. And any adversary ship to be that close
to U.S. borders,
especially if that submarine is nuclearly armed.
Yeah, which, mind you, it wouldn't be allowed to get that close.
I don't think it would.
Either way, it wouldn't be allowed. But it does just seal that off. Like, you're not coming this close. Not even, like, gonna think about it. 100%. I mean, the majority, like, all I've seen, all Cuban Americans, and I would say even Cubans, are like, yeah, go ahead and finish the job in Cuba too while you're at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. A lot of Cubans are hoping that America goes and invades Cuba, because Cubans have no arms to, like, fight for themselves.
Mind you, this is not, we're as much as we're maybe happy in a sense that this guy was taken out. It does not take away from the fact that, you know, last number I saw were, like, there were 80 people who lost their lives in the strike and all that. Like, that is still sad. It does suck. Like, death in any way, shape, or form is terrible, and the fact that there were 32 Cubans who were part of Venezuela's military that also died, like, also sucks. But
not Venezuela's military, Maduro's security detail.
Yeah, his detail. Like, it's just like, it's sad that they were put in a position where that was the case, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, no one,
another country's leader.
Exactly. Because something I saw, so that's that. I'll talk about that now, about what I saw. But I just felt like, Preston, like, war's bad. It sucks that it happened. Hopefully, this is not another Iraq or Afghanistan. We're there for 20 years and then the Taliban's get it again. I hope this is Venezuela's first step in a more prosperous future. Ideally, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. I think it will be. Ultimately, I think it will be, because if America's planning on ramping up oil production over there, a lot of money will be flowing. Roads will be built, hospitals will be built,
infrastructure will be created.
Just overall infrastructure is just going to be renewed, revamped. More jobs are going to be made outside of the oil industry.
Of course, you're going to create new industries.
So there's going to be a proliferation of adjacent.
Make it simple. You'll be able to do business inside the country again and be a capitalist to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it'll just be back to how things were before Chavez took power and messed it up.
I was looking for a sophisticated way of saying it.
I know, but keep it sometimes keep it simple, man.
Derivatives
of speak English. Back to the thing I wanted to say was, I saw someone I followed who was a friend at one point, then work, and we became acquaintances, and then we never spoke again pretty much. He posted something that made me unfollow him, and it made me upset what he posted. He goes,
someone that
the guy I told you about who said something, I forgot, but I told you about him, and the DM I sent him about something.
I vaguely remember.
Right. So he posted a picture saying it was about the 32 Cubans who died, and what he wrote was, all Cuban Americans who voted for Trump should have their brain dissected for science to see what's so messed up with them.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I paused because he is also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is a Cuban American. And I paused. I go, what do you mean? Trump is a bad guy for like 1,000 other reasons, but I'm like, this is the one thing I think you're off on this one.
One thing that we have said multiple times is that like no politician is gonna make every right move. A lot of politicians are gonna
make the wrong move.
Yeah, they're gonna make a lot of wrong moves.
A lot of they're gonna mess up more than they are right, and they're in it for themselves for the most part.
Exactly. No matter how many times they get things right, they're gonna get things wrong, and that's like the unfortunate part of it.
So the minute I read that, I wanted to reply to that, and instead of replying, I unfollowed him. I was like, you know what, bro? I think you're far gone on that one. I'm not gonna deal with this. I don't want this in my feed. It's not necessary. And I was in myself internally, I was like, why would they be upset if the majority of Cuban Americans want to get the Cuban government taken down anyways?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the Cubans who are there now were not the ones who left in the 60s and 80s. The ones who are there now are just the ones who have to deal with it and are living in the worst poverty that exists in what once was a developed country.
Yeah. Cuba was a thriving country at one point.
I was like, what are we? I'm like, his comment made me feel like you are too unaware of realities that are within a country that are being
completely
destroyed, unhinged.
Completely unhinged.
I'm like, most Cuban Americans would love for. I'm like, my mom was like, oh, hopefully he goes to Cuba next. I was like, I mean, cleaning house would be fun. Like, would seal the deal.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and mind you,
Cubans in Cuba would want that.
And mind you, this is not us wanting more people to die. It's just the sad reality to clean.
If anything, it's wanting less people to die.
Yeah, mind you, because it's not like Cuba doesn't kidnap and kill their own civilians who talk against their own government, right? It's not like they don't do that. Right? Because I know of a friend who in high school who went to Cuba, said something negatively about Cuba. Mind you, he's a U.S. citizen who said this. And the people next to him are like, hey, I would keep your voice down when you say that. I wouldn't say that at all. Because you can get picked. They'll pick you up. It's like, what are we talking about here? He says it, I took that as in, you think these people are good guys? Who are running these governments are good guys? Even if they are your own people, it's like, oh, it's okay for them to snatch me, but it's not okay.
Ultimately, never trust the government. That's my end all be all. Never trust the government.
Right? We need government to a degree, but at the same time, with a fat grain of salt.
This is going to be a bit of a sidestep.
I feel like
we've covered enough of this whole topic.
I think so.
So just
before we get into that sidestep, we'll probably talk about it next time if there's more developments. He's in Brooklyn right now, and
but not guilty.
We'll see. Obviously not guilty, and we'll see what happens. Right? We'll see what charges stick, what doesn't stick. If he goes to prison, doesn't go to prison, gets a slap on the wrist.
We'll follow this further on, but
we'll see what happens.
I woke up today to South Park being right on something that they did 20 years ago.
That's what's up. It's not just The Simpsons.
Nope. So, I don't watch South Park like that. I don't know the characters' names, besides Kenny, the one that dies all the time. The fat one. Do you know what his name is?
I don't watch South Park at all.
At all? Oh, you gotta watch it. It's good. Either way, so this this character, he somehow calls the CDC, or in like this clip, he's like, "Oh yeah, the food pyramid, like invert it," and then they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you need to invert the food pyramid," and then they're like, "Okay, we're inverting the food pyramid." So then the CDC on the South Park episode inverts the food pyramid, and today, I wake up to seeing that the CDC has inverted the food pyramid.
Well, RFK did that. He said he inverted that.
Yeah. Okay, it was RFK. I was like, that's crazy. No, I was like, that's, which is something that we kind of known that before. It said, oh, carbs is like should be the base of all your meals, and that's the last thing that's true. Like you should not have.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the base. Sugar shouldn't be the base. Carbs. And also, mind you, I'm a fat mother trucker, so I can't speak. I just indulge in food more than I should. But I know that carbs shouldn't be, and neither should sugar.
Yeah, it's mostly protein.
As I drink a beer.
Mostly protein, healthy fats is what should be in there.
Correct.
So that was an interesting thing. So I essentially like, when I say trust the government, like, or don't trust the government, it's on a case by case basis. You got to figure something out. Because people back then who said no, the food pyramid's wrong, they were labeled as like anti-scientists or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even though the science was changed to do that so they can sell more sugars.
Yeah, so like science is like always one of those things. Is like it does. We do learn more things as time progresses. It's never going to be something right. It's just a process. Science is more of a process than it is a fact. It's just like we could replicate things. And when it comes to government agencies like the CDC, a lot of what they and I have another side note that I just made, but when it comes to like things like government regulatory agencies, they're usually have money in their pockets by organizations that lead to benefit from their decisions. So CDC is very likely to approve certain things or deny certain things based off of like funders and stuff like that.
I personally think there should be no lobbying.
Yeah, lobbying is what is the problem at the end of the day. Like that's kind of where this all stems from.
I think there should be no lobbying, no nothing. I think politics should be what it used to be 400 years ago. You make money first. You make money first. You get into politics. You leave. Yeah,
when the government was like first developed, the American government, all of the founding fathers thought no one's gonna want this job. Like, this is a job that no one should want.
No one should want it.
Yeah, we have career politicians who literally make a living off of this, and like, there's people waking up planning on going into politics and making a living off of this.
I personally think that everything should have a term limit and a maximum limit. Or like, if your term limit ends, you can't go back in, type of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is one government agency that has no term limit.
I mean, there should be term limits, is what I said.
But the Supreme Court has no term limit, and that's, I think, makes sense.
Yeah,
because if you start adding term limits, then essentially, like, whatever Supreme Court justice can come in afterwards, like, they could be bought out before they get in there.
Well, what I meant, I think I expressed myself incorrectly. What I mean by term limits is the fact that I think it's Congress or all of them. You can run, and then you're just rerunning to stay in your seat.
Yeah, forever.
What I think it should be is you have a maximum amount. You can do maximum
like 8 the presidency.
Years. Yeah.
Like you can't run more than twice.
You can't run more than twice. You can't run more than twice, but you can be president more than twice.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You can't be.
That's the other thing.
You can't be in the position more than 2 times.
But what I agree, I think that's what government has to do, which it will never get done. But every what's the word? There should be no career politicians. You should have 8 years max in any seat. You can move up, right? If you're in Congress, and you want to become a president, you can go for that, but you can't continue to be in Congress. Mm-hmm. You can't be the Secretary of State for more than, like, all positions should be maxed and capped. That way you can actually also make real changes, because you're not battling to be reelected for your next term. It's like it's every 2 terms, every 2 years, so you're rebattling to stay in.
That reminds me of the other like major change that I think, and if you made it this far, I'm about to ask you guys a question. I want to see if you guys could give us a poll, write it in the comments. Should institutions be allowed to buy single family homes? Large institutions like retail investors at the institutional level be buying single family homes?
That's not what it is, though.
What do you mean?
You said retail investors.
I like, my bad. Real estate is what I meant.
Oh, I think you're getting it. Repeat it one more time for us to see if
should institutional real estate investors be allowed to buy single family homes?
Okay. Can I caveat that? Because I don't think I think you're pairing two things that are different.
Okay.
Institutions is one. Real estate investors is a separate thing.
Are they?
Yes.
Because I know that there could be real estate investors that are not institutional.
I think, yeah, but like BlackRock, for an example, is an institutional giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Giant, right? Who also has been buying up single family homes, but it's more like because it's more like it's how many like. It's like, I think Grant Cardone would be a real estate investor.
He's a real estate investor, yeah.
But he's not an institution.
Mm-hmm.
They're like separate, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, real estate investors and institutions are separate, but all I'm saying is specifically for like institutions buying from single family homes. They're also real estate investors. I was big. Okay, I guess what your gripe with it is I was hyper specific. That's fine.
You're not being hyper specific. I'm saying you're pairing two things that don't go together. Because someone could be a real estate investor and not be an institution, and you're saying that they shouldn't buy family single
either
family
way.
homes.
Either way. I think it's a semantic issue that is probably not super.
I think words actually matter. I think words matter, and I think
this is one of those insignificant semantic issues. Personally,
I completely disagree with you.
Either way, getting back to my point, Trump has made an announcement saying that he wants to prevent institutions from buying single family homes. A couple people have put this on polls on like X and YouTube, and it looks like the vast majority of people are for that policy.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, organizations like, let's say, BlackRock, buying single-family homes reduces the amount of how many single-family homes are available for everyday people to buy their own property.
Yes.
However, that policy would require congressional approval.
Mm-hmm.
And my current fear for this, because I think that should be passed. I don't think institutions should be allowed to buy single-family homes as investments. However, I do believe they already have their pockets lined. Congress already has like a lot of money in there. So I don't know if that policy will pass.
I think it could pass.
I would hope it would pass.
I think it could pass. Can I defend my semantics now that you were saying that I was being extra for?
Yeah, go for it.
So you just said Trump proposed a ban on institutions buying family homes.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to also say Trump is banning institutions and real estate investors, or saying Trump is banning institutions buying real estate investors, you're adding another subset, another group.
So, and this is why I say I think it's a semantic thing that the argument's over. I'm not saying institutional investors and retail investors. I'm saying institutions specifically investing in real estate. So institutional retail real estate investors is what I'm saying. Because there could be institutions that are only investing in technology. Those are institutional technology investors. Yes. It's kind of where I stand on like why I made that statement, why I chose those words in particular.
Maybe it's semantics, but so I have a question now though to propose. Do you think holding companies, because because we just talked about institutional, do you think real estate investing portfolios should also buy single family homes,
not single family homes? Single family homes should be out of the limit, out of the box.
So you're saying single family homes would that also mean a single apartment?
They wouldn't do a single apartment. I think that they should, if anything, they should be allowed to build or invest in multi-family buildings.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think now I'm going to real estate investors only, people who buy real estate.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. They should also not buy family homes.
I mean,
or does it become a thing of size matters?
I think that's ultimately what it is, because these large institutions have such deep pockets that they are quite literally buying up all the market.
That's why I'm saying that's why I'm excluding.
So when it comes to
this.
the retail investor, like the retail real estate investor, their pockets are not that deep. They might only they won't be able to gather 40,000 single family homes.
Yeah. So for example, taking it one step further, we were there. So would you consider that Grant Cardone, like someone of that size? I say Grant Cardone because he's a big face in real estate. Should not be allowed to buy single family homes.
So I don't even think
he doesn't buy them. I'm using him as the example because of the size, not him in particular, because he doesn't buy them.
I think it would be perfectly reasonable to expect someone who, when Grant first started, to be buying single family homes. But once you reach a certain threshold, it almost becomes nonsensical for you to be doing that.
No, it is not. They move up to multifamilies
exactly.
and complexes. I'm not disagreeing with you with that.
Forcing them to sell whatever they already have, I think, is not really quite right. And if he is buying single family homes, I think they'll end up buying multi-million-dollar family homes, not almost mansions.
So I think so. For argument's sake, again, I'm not referring to Grant. I'm just referring to Grant as the body of it. To your point, they wouldn't be buying, but also a mansion isn't a single family home. A single family home is a house in a quiet
single family home.
No, it's a mansion. They're sizing.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think mansions are considered single family homes. I'm pretty sure single family homes are under a specific subsect of building.
Okay.
Because for perfect example, so remember, because this is already talking about the housing crisis that's in the U.S. and houses sale. So Graham Stephan a couple of weeks back posted a tweet a tweet explaining what the American dream. The American dream was a single family home, just like the basic. And he goes, it's not so much that, and then he compares it to what it used to cost, so what it costs now, and then the wages, how they've dramatically have not kept, and they've dramatically been outpaced by the prices of homes. Mm-hmm. And he goes, he's like, there's an underlying thing that people are overlooking. A single family home in the 1950s was 900 square feet and like 2 little bedrooms and 1.5 bathrooms, essentially. Like it was, right? It was not. It was much smaller. But now a single family home is 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a yard, these things, he's like, so he was pointing out that it's not just the disparity in wage to price, but it's also what we want to get with the same price we used to pay. Mm-hmm. So he's like, U.S. society has gotten to a point where we want more for what we used to pay for something much smaller.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think that's how the economy should function. Things should get cheaper over time. We should get better quality products, have a more abundance of those products for a lower price. However, because of the way that our monetary system is created and money gets printed out on the daily, there's a inflation that takes place, and there's more money being printed and is in circulation, while wages are not really like the whole wage thing, like it's not really keeping up, and most of it gets funneled up anyways to like the ultra wealthy. Like we have, and I'm not hitting on game. Like if you have a way to make business and make money, like multimillionaires and these billionaires, like they're doing something right on their end. It's not their fault that they're getting all this money, but all this money didn't exist before. Like it literally wasn't a thing. If we had a currency that it was fixed in nature, then you cannot artificially inflate numbers. Things get more expensive because of how fast the government prints money. That's my whole take on that. So,
but I think housing is just not. It's not the same way though. Housing specifically.
Well, there is like limited amount of property. Like land is limited.
Not just, well, yes, land, but it's not just the land. It's land where people want to live.
Yeah, there's supply demand for certain geographical areas.
No, it's for the majority of America. We all live in major cities. We have the entire Midwest.
The majority of America lives on the borders.
Yeah, I mean, we have the entire Midwest that's completely barren that everyone could go live, but it's just way harder to go live there.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right?
No, there is, and like population grows, so like it does become harder for things, and I totally get that. Like property is one of the assets that I think will just ultimately does go up in prices. However, when the money system does get fixed or is fixed, and like people realize that, then prices of most commodities should go down, if not all.
I don't think prices will go down.
I can assure you prices would go down.
I think they'll just rebalance at that scale, but I don't think they'll come down.
So what do you mean by that? By rebalance?
So rebalance would be, example, if the dollar, give a number. So the dollar, say, lost 30% over last year, meaning if you had $100, it's worth 70. But this can of beer in that same time frame went up $5, went up 2% or 3%, whatever number you want to give. Rebalancing would be, in my eyes, I don't think we'll ever get back to the 100% of the dollar. What it used, like, we'll never go back to where things were on the gold standard. So dollar buying will go up a bit. Consumer items will come down a little bit. It's that's what I mean by rebalancing. I don't think you'll have this.
So what you're saying is the dollar value goes down, right?
It's gone down.
So you buy less with a dollar.
With a dollar.
And the price of something goes up.
Correct.
That is quite literally the same exact thing. You buy less with $1. Let's say you have 4 eggs for $1.
Mm-hmm.
The price of an egg is 25 cents. But next year, the dollar has gone down 25%. You can only buy 3 eggs with that $1.
Okay, and the cost of the egg in and of itself also went up an additional percentage, though, is what I'm saying. On top of whatever it went down.
Then the price of the value of the dollar didn't go down 25%. The price of the dollar went down even further.
I don't agree with that statement. I don't think it's
that's
one.
Exactly how that works.
No, it's not just inflation. I don't think, because what I'm saying is inflation is one thing and cost of goods is another. They both play hand together. What I'm saying, the cost of the good in itself can also go up, while inflation deteriorates your value on itself.
Yes, that is true. That is very possible. But that's okay. But that is like, when I say it's possible, like it's like something that can happen. Like it's for sure.
But it happens. It happens all the time.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying that it does not.
So I think what I'm saying is
that is like a thing.
I think what I think is currently happening is we're under a circumstance where all we've seen for the last 7 years is only inflation affect everything, not actual price of assets actually rising because supply chains actually bottleneck. Because we had inflation, but we also at the same time had actual supply chains be bottleneck, which causes prices to surge until that bottleneck is fixed. Yeah. Right? Even if that bottleneck got fixed, though, if the company raised the price, they kept the price up there. The majority of them kept the prices at the new number. But at the same time that occurred, you still also had inflation. Mm-hmm. So what I'm getting at, I don't think there will be a one-to-one. No time soon will we reach a one-to-one. I think it'll be a balancing. If the cost to make this beer went up actual price, like for whatever occurred, this went up in price. And inflation also eroded the value of how much you can buy of a thing, then the disparity increases much higher. Mm-hmm. So if the cost to produce this beer still stays up here, and now our dollar's still now worth 15% more, this is still here. This goes here though. It's still not.
No, yeah. So why would the dollar go up 15% in value?
Because I'm saying. Because you just said if we fix the monetary system.
Yeah, but like damn well that the fiat currency is not going to get fixed because we already have a currency.
But you said it was going to get fixed. Yeah. You said when they figure it out.
I say figure it out, but when people figure out that the fiat currency is not the system and that really like a fixed stable asset like Bitcoin is the way to go, I just didn't explicitly say Bitcoin, but we already have something that does this.
Yeah, and the other guys are going to argue gold.
Yeah, they could argue gold. They'll be wrong, but they could argue gold.
But they wouldn't be wrong because last year, I am pro Bitcoin. I am against gold. But devil's advocate, gold went up 70% against Bitcoin. Silver went up 125% against Ethereum.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying that they're not bad assets.
My point is, I don't.
But gold is not fixed in supply.
True.
That's like all I'm saying. It's like at some point there will be an introduction of more gold into the system.
Could be.
Like, but I'm not saying gold isn't a bad asset in any way, shape. Am I saying gold is?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm getting at is even if the system is broken, the majority, a lot of people know the system is broken. The cost to produce an asset is still a cost. And there are other costs associated that can drive a price upwards.
And that's dynamic. Yeah, that could change.
And there's
a handful of variables that go into that.
Right? It's like, what is it? It's like, bro, it's like the diamonds. The prices, like the value of diamonds aren't real.
Yeah, that's artificially held
It's
up.
completely artificially held up. There are more diamonds in the ground than you can ever fathom. But it's just you just take it out so slow, purposefully, and maybe not just purposefully, but it's also just because it may be harder to get the rest of them. But it's just like
it's not just
controlled on purpose.
There's also like storage. Like they're already pulled out and they're just not selling them.
Yeah, it's a fully controlled industry, but it's like I don't know. I just think it's one of those things that since you're not fixing the system, Ideally, the price of this beer can would be cheaper priced in Bitcoin than it was the year before. Ideally, and in a 4-year cycle, it does happen. I will say that. In a 4-year cycle, that it's definitely the case. Almost tenfold.
Yeah, for 100% of the time so far.
As of right now, 100% of the times so far. Yeah, I think there's very few things priced in Bitcoin that have costs more than pricing in a yeah, very few things. And again, that's inflated by the amount of money in the system.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's one of those things.
It's dude, you know what it is? It's like time. It doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. It's time isn't real. Money isn't real.
Yep, that's fair. So speaking about time, this year we had, as we have every year, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, CES 2026.
Alex is the only person I've ever heard who calls it by its full name.
I just want to make sure everyone knows what the acronym stands for.
I just find that funny. I've never heard anyone call it a consumer electronics. Never. But
because it's for consumers.
But mind you, I knew what CES was. Once he said it, I'm like, oh, CES. Why didn't you just say CES? I don't know why you're going above and beyond here.
That's funny. So that show has started, and they had a large amount of their products, there, just completely talking about and using AI, pretty much dominating the entire show. So there was a talk on Monday by Brian Comiskey, who's the director of innovation and trends at CTA, the Consumer Technology Association, and he pretty much described the 2020s as a decade of intelligent transformation, driven primarily by, obviously, AI. Blockchain, on the other hand, had almost no time in the show. There was almost no mention of it.
Do you know if in CES they've mentioned blockchain before?
They have mentioned. I mean, they mentioned it this year.
Not mentioned, but have they shown different consumer products that are blockchain based and things in the past? Because I don't know.
They have. Again, blockchain's never really been a major thing.
Yeah.
But there has been blockchain involvement in the show. What I particularly liked was the whole Boston Dynamics display of their new consumer product, Atlas, which is that project that they've been working on for the last decade or so.
They've been in the game,
the ones that people see the videos of on YouTube all the time.
Yeah,
robots doing some crazy jumps and going parkour.
The robots in Disney World.
Yeah. So essentially, this robot is a beautiful design. It's kind of humanoid, but does not look like a human. The face of this thing is just like a light bulb. It's a clanker. It's a clanker through and through.
Okay.
Its limbs have 360 rotation. So
Nice.
it mimics human mobility, but exceeds that.
I was about to say.
Yeah. And it is going to be the one that they had on display is a prototype still,
Of course.
as in, not the final product, but it is going to be used ideally for industrial type work.
Mm-hmm.
Lifting up to 110 pounds and reaching approximately 7.5 feet.
That's high. Did they give a deadline? Did they say when it could be potentially released?
Actually released? I didn't find that.
Okay, that's normal. I was just curious to see if they gave one.
I didn't hear any of that. And they also did say, specifically Zachary Zakowski, the VP. He did say that they've been working on this for a decade, but what they really needed has officially like kind of like gotten to where it needs, and it's AI. It's like AI, artificial intelligence, was the like final thing that they needed for that robot to be commercially available.
That's funny. That's good for them.
Yeah. So speaking about AI, I think there's a lot of haters for AI out there, and I think that that's such a bad take.
Oh, dude, bro? I'm listening to this podcast. I just started. It's literally 3 Cubans talking Spanish that moved from Cuba here ages ago, and one of them goes, "Bro, you know what? AI isn't that smart." They go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Bro, it's not that smart." They go, "Okay, give me an example." Before he says that, he goes, "All they do is just answer your question fast." Mm-hmm. He goes, "You can just Google that." And then he goes, "I tell Gemini to wake me up, right? To put an alarm to wake me up, and it just sounds the alarm. Why doesn't it go, 'Hello, it's time to wake up, beautiful. It's time to get up'? Like that would be smart. But just give me an alarm. I could do that." Mm-hmm. And then he goes, "What?" Because they talked about of someone who wants to, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "If it was so smart, you know what it'll do? The next day when you as you wake up, it goes, 'Hey, how you feeling today? I noticed you were being a little weird yesterday.'" He goes, "That would be smart." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He goes, "What does it do now?"
No, it encourages it.
Yeah, right. It's like, what does it do? And I found that so funny. It was like, there's a point there, but at the same time, I don't know, but
I mean, to be fair, Elon did say this before AI was like popular. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's like, this needs to be regulated and like go slow. Do not go fast with this.
Yeah, which I think we're going pretty fast with it.
Oh, we're going super fast with it, 100%.
Can I also before you continue? I think we also have to go fast with it because our adversaries have no guide rails on it, and if you don't go fast, someone else will, and it could get ugly 100%. Real fast.
No,
at the high level, big level. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would agree AI is not all that smart. Machine learning algorithms are not all that great, or not all of them at least. They are getting more impressive as the days go on. But like, there's someone on Instagram that's like trying to get ChatGPT to accurately say how many R's there are in the word strawberry, and it like struggles. He's like, "Oh, there's one R." It's like, "No, that's not correct. How many R's are there in the word strawberry?" He's like, "Oh, my bad. You're right. There's 3 R's." Like,
he goes, "No, you're correct."
It's like, "No, that's." He's like, "No, there's," and then you're like, "No, that's not wrong." He's like, "No, I'm sorry. I double checked. It has 3 R's, and it's not. It's like not the case." But AI can be quite intelligent, and like it has its limitations. A lot of it, you have to understand how it works.
I think
to understand what those limitations are.
I personally use AI to give me just a mass amount of information. I read sort the information it provides to then go, not even information, like to Google stuff for this podcast. I go, what are the latest trends or whatever? It gives me a huge thing. I read sort. I go, okay, I like this segment of what you shared. Then give me more information about that, and give me links to the articles you're referring to. Let me read the article. Let me confirm with these articles that they look like it is what it is, and then go from there. I think it's good for research.
And the whole case of Boston Dynamics is that the AI algorithms keep the robot balanced. Like that's how the robot knows what's going on. Essentially,
yeah, it's different for them.
Yeah, it's a completely different application for it. It's not what we use it for. What most people use it for,
or what you would ideally want to use it for. For them, it's just like okay.
When I was taking my machine learning class, it's all about algorithms for AI, essentially. Mind you, I study cybersecurity, and that degree path, I completely forgot that there's other uses. So like the majority of my classes were all cybersecurity students, but in this class in particular, the majority of them were people who
machine learning
who were either in computer vision, so like having a computer, a camera, being able to identify what it's looking at, or robotics. There were very few people in security in that class.
Yeah, like AI has more uses than what the consumer looks at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like one example of like some level of like machine learning that's used, and this was mostly very rudimentary, but like intersections. Intersections have a handful of sensors on them. They use cameras. They use like radio waves to identify when. And it kind of like based off of like it does some math. It's like, okay, cool, and then decides when to switch the light.
Yo, but there's some intersections that are like garbage.
Yeah, I would agree. There are some intersections.
There are some that are like, yo, this light lasted 30 seconds, and 3 cars went. There's a line of 70 cars behind. It's like, okay,
that could either be because like the sensors are broken or like not set up correctly.
Yeah, you know what, you're right.
Or the algorithm being used is just not the right one.
Yeah. This is very accurate. No, it's a disaster.
Well, going back just to wrap up the Boston Dynamics thing.
Do it.
Morgan Stanley reported in May 2025 that the humanoid robot market was going to grow significantly in the next 25 years, and potentially surpassing a $5 trillion cap. It's expecting 1 billion humanoids to be in use for 2025.
What?
Yeah, Morgan Stanley says back in May 2025. I said 2025, my bad. Yeah. So in the report that Morgan Stanley dropped early last year, they said that more than 1 billion humanoid robots are going to be used by 2050. Yeah.
You know what, Alex? I could have guessed that.
Yeah. No, honestly, yeah. Which reminds me of this.
Someone's getting paid. There are people getting paid to make those predictions that are obviously, like, obvious.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's going to be a growing industry. Obviously, by 2050, there could easily be 1 billion robots. It may be less.
Ooh, you know what that just reminded me of? I saw this other video of, like, some programmer. She's, like, a developer. She's working on an AI model that live watches, like, NFL football games. And is placing bets on prediction markets or, like, game betting platforms based off of what the AI model sees. So the AI model is just like watching this live stream and runs all its data and says, okay, bet we're gonna bet on this play or whatever. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you have to be betting on plays though to do it like that, because if not, you're not. It's different outcomes depending on your bets.
Yeah, you would have to do the quick bets.
Yeah, those are like, but
another thing that I do want to mention is, like, as AI continues to grow, I think our job, it is a post, and I agreed with this post, is our jobs as human is to become even more human than we have been, than we've been in the past few years.
I don't know what that means. So,
like, we've been focusing a lot of our time into, like, economic growth, career development, and, like, doing all this stuff, which is great to, like, a degree, but, like, live life a little bit more. Like, the whole automation process should make our lives easier, not give us more work.
That sounds a little to me.
Yeah, that's because you've already been brainwashed. We should still be making progress, but I don't know. I'd rather just take it easy. go watch movies, walk a park, ride a kayak.
He does this, but you do this now. I don't
I'm
see
not
what
saying.
you're,
I'm not saying I don't do it, but it should allow more freedom.
I don't.
If we have robots working for us, why we got to put in so much work? The only reason you got to be putting in work, really, if we got robots doing it, is because there's a severe need for it, or a severe desire for it.
Listen, I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, you can also just do that now. You don't have to wait for the automation things to do that.
What do you mean?
You don't have to wait to, like, because you said if once we get there, it's our job to become more human.
Mm-hmm.
Just become more human now.
Oh, yeah. Also true.
Like, if you want to go take a walk in the park, take a walk in the park.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think humans need a sense of purpose, and now we get lost.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What if your purpose is just to explore who you are? Not everyone's purpose is going to be the same.
That's fine, but if your purpose is to explore who you are, then you're gonna end up traveling to Tibetan monk's temple to see if you can find Nirvana there. And you were gonna, oh, you know what? The temples weren't for me. I'm gonna go climb Mount Kilimanjaro or whatever. But you could. So I've been seeing. I'm gonna steer away to a different area of this conversation. I've been seeing these videos of this guy who just goes, "Use your free will."
Facts.
But it's like, it is your free will is what makes you human.
Mm-hmm.
I think people. All right, just use it. If you, like, I don't know, people wait for this, like, moment of, like, this thing that goes, oh, since you did X amount XYZ, you can now do it. Right? Or
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's impossible to do that, William. I'm just saying that it should be easier.
We already live in one of the easiest times in the world.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We humans like to overcomplicate what we find.
That's true.
Why does everyone struggle to make ends meet sometimes? Because you have the latest iPhone and you're upgrading every 3 months, every year. Mm-hmm. Because you're buying the most expensive computer, because you're going out to do these things that maybe you don't want to do, but since everyone's doing it, you're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be human and go, you know what? I don't need, and be like, okay, I don't need the newest phone. I don't need the newest car. I don't need this. You know what I do want to do instead? I want to travel the world. Then you can just travel the world. I don't. Yes, the robots can make it easier to be human, but I don't think it will, because humans will not take advantage of that. They'll just find more ways to get in to make it harder for themselves.
He says to be more human, you're just gonna be more flawed, and
you're
gonna dig yourself into deeper holes.
You're gonna dig yourself into holes that you're already digging into. Phones that could hold that you can save numbers on made it easier to make more phone calls. We make less phone calls than we did before.
Yeah, but it's not because the phones are storing the numbers.
What do you mean? What I'm saying is,
it sounds like you're making it sounds like you're making it sound like, say that, like, oh, because the phones store phone numbers now, we make less phone calls. Like, that's not the case. We make less phone calls because we could send text messages.
Yeah, but yes, you can send text messages. I'm not. But the point. But you went somewhere where I wasn't going with it. The reason we also make less calls is because you're not calling the phone number you have to remember. Like if you had to remember the phone number to make a text message, would you have done it? Or would you just called them?
I would have just called them if I have to make a phone call. Like if I need to write the phone number down for me to reach out to them.
What I'm saying is that's a touch of humanity. We had to there was more effort to make that phone call, and you're like, you know what? Whoever I am calling has to be worth calling.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're kind of just assuming that that's the case.
Isn't life just built on different assumptions?
Because if I'm making a phone call, that's going to be taking my time anyways. So that phone call needs to be worth calling.
Maybe. I'm not sure
because,
about that one.
Like, if I'm calling someone, it's mostly like there has to be some value there.
Then why do you look at life with everything with value? That's not what humans do. You don't have to look for value in everything. Some things just are.
Yes, most things just are. But
no, you just look for value in a phone call that doesn't need value. No. Is it not valuable just to talk to someone that you want to talk to?
Just is. Yeah, exactly. But that's still value.
But there's no value there. You're not gaining any. You're not. There are no gains.
No, you're just having a conversation with someone.
Exactly.
But
there's no.
What you're saying, okay. Listen, not having that conversation means that there is no conversation, even though there's like no like actual like I don't know like inherent objective of the conversation besides just talking. There is still the objective of talking for the sake of talking.
Correct.
That's value.
That's not value.
That is value.
That's how a value. The definition of value is not that.
What's the definition of value then?
Worth more. Whatever
worth more. Exactly.
That's not. You're not worth more because you had that conversation.
No, but you. So you're saying that there's no difference between whether you had the conversation or not had the conversation? Because it sounds to me like what you're saying is the conversation itself is pleasant. It's nice to have. So not having that pleasant conversation means that you are lacking something pleasant.
No, you're making an assumption.
No, that seems to me like the logic that you're following.
No, you're making an assumption.
Is that I'm not just saying the logic that you're following.
No, you're making an assumption.
Okay, so where's my assumption?
That I called because I was not pleasant before. What if I was already pleasant? I just decided to call you.
Okay, why'd you call me?
That's what people ask. Is why you called me.
Mm-hmm.
And what my response is? Nah, I was just here. Want to see what you're doing.
So that's my point. There's a desire.
What? There was no desire. I literally said I was just here. I decided to call you
to see what I was doing.
I didn't say what you're doing. I said I decided to call you.
Okay.
How's your day going?
So there is, and that's the desire right there. You desire some input. You're asking me about my day.
But that doesn't affect me in any way. And I gain no value from it, from asking you how your day was.
Then why ask it?
It's a nice thing to do, I would say.
So there is value. Nice for who? For you or for me?
For both.
So you're adding value. That's the value.
The guy who's the hippie, I don't see it like that. The guy who's the hippie is arguing with me about just using your free will now instead of waiting until we have robots to do the things for us and make it easier. I don't get it. Well, I don't see why you're arguing with me.
I have a very
I know why I gave the pushback. I don't know why you're giving the pushback on the pushback I gave, but it's okay. We lost 20 minutes of our viewers just now. 20 minutes are gone. They're like, this was
I actually like that conversation. I think it's a valid philosophical conversation.
I think humans just have to get out on their own way, realize they have more free will than what they actually do, and just do the things you want to do, and don't get pushed around by what you think people think you should be doing.
I would agree with that statement, 100%. I would agree with that statement 100%.
And also, if you are judged because of that, and as long as you are happy doing what you're doing, then it's okay. Do what you want to do.
Watch the world burn.
Or don't.
Yeah. No, what I meant by that is like, do whatever makes you happy, and like, even if everyone else doesn't like that, like, just keep on doing what you gotta do. And you're watching the world burn in the sense of like, no one's satisfied with what your vision of, but that's part of the human experience.
I think this is the one thing I heard Hermosi say that's very true. Everyone will die. In 300 years, you'll more than likely be forgotten, so it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally. And if you are remembered, you're remembered very sublimely.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the word? I forgot the word. Whatever. What a tangent we went into.
Either way, if you want to bring it back, you want to show us the Bitcoin chart.
We'll get into the Bitcoin chart right. We will.
Okay.
There's one more thing I want to bring up because I saw this and I sent it to you and we both agreed this is ludicrous. California just placed a law saying for any inactive crypto accounts longer than for a minimum of for 3 years or longer, the state of California will take that as unclaimed property and take it for themselves.
Is it unclaimed property or abandoned by chance?
I have it here. So California Governor Gavin Newsomes has signed a bill allowing the state to transfer custody of any Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies held on exchanges after 3 years of inactivity. Yeah, unclaimed property. Under the law, inactive accounts on central exchanges are classified as unclaimed property. That's exactly what it said.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, I had a thought about this after seeing that, and I was wondering if that warrants a class action lawsuit against the governor.
Oh, well, it depends if does the timer start from the time they said it? Does it take back 3 years or more? You know. And you know what I thought about when I saw it? I'm like, so does that go for housing? Does that go for stocks? You're only applying.
That's a ludicrous law.
Or like, does this only apply to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
And who says it's unclaimed? There's literally an account associated to that
person with their information on it.
Like, it's very much so claimed.
It has a person. It's very much literally it has a social security number attached to it.
Yeah, that's theft. That's why I ask. Is this like something that you could do an actual?
No, that can easily, like, if they were to backtrack it 3 years, that's an instant class action lawsuit if people decide to log in and see that their funds are missing. Also, I wonder if the the exchanges will give any pushback on it.
Yeah, I mean, fair. That's
right, because sometimes the exchanges will look at it and be like, "What?" Like, even if it is the law, I can't do like.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's morally wrong because
like this
theft. That is by definition theft.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, yeah, California is Cuba essentially. Also, whoever tells me, oh, California has the weather, this man, crash into the medium.
You won't catch me paying California taxes.
Bro, every time I watch like podcasters who go, "Oh no, California is this thing and this," I'm like, stop it.
Delusional.
No, it's you stop it. You're crazy. Bro, stop it. Get over it, bro. California's it's Cuba. All right, let's get into this Bitcoin chart and see what are we doing? How's it looking?
You want to pull it up?
I am, dude. I'm trying to. What am I sharing? You see, that's not what I want.
Oh, your full screen?
Yeah. There we go. You can see it?
Yeah, I see it. It's taking it. Yep, there we go.
So I can't see you, by the way. So before we get into that, let's look at dominance real quick. So dominance was at this uptrend, still very much so in the uptrend. It's wicked below it because there has been a pullback on dominance over the last couple of days. It hasn't closed just yet on the this is weekly, so it has closed on the daily. So realistically, this can do two things. It can really just so it's on support. So theoretically, to see dominance come down further, you would want to see a push up to this rejection, come down, and ideally lose this level. And then after doing that, we can potentially start talking about coming lower down, like to around here. By the way, I haven't looked at any crypto news, so it's really like nonchalant. Money's not, Bitcoin's, everything's moving real slow at the moment. Mm-hmm. So it'll be that, like a push up to this 50 day rejection, either test again or break below it. And then we could ideally see a move down. This is also daily, so this could take a while. Daily's pushing upward, so we could see a push up. So we could get that rejection there. For alts to move, like we've said, we want to see dominance really like come down drastically. We just haven't seen it. Like our low, like this was 2024. This was the lows. So ideally, you want to see at least something like this to see alts gain some momentum, like strong momentum. But we'll get a push up on alts just with losing this level here. Further we go, obviously better. And Bitcoin sitting at 90. So clearly, bounce on support here a couple weeks back. During our hiatus, Bitcoin broke out, pushed above, hit a very clear resistance zones, like I told Alex when he was trying to do some stuff. Very clear resistance zones. It rejected, pushed down. It's on the 50-day SMA. And two things. You would want to see it create a higher low here from this low, so it could potentially create a new uptrend. And as of right now, we are still in this head and shoulders pattern worry that we have been in for a couple weeks now. But it has built some of the mass like it has here. So head and shoulders, two possibilities is it comes up all the way to here, or it comes a little below it, which will be here, and that'll be a lower high. So that would mean that we have potentially more downtrend coming in the coming weeks. It'll be to around right here is a good zone, but really anything here is a good rejection zone at 101,000.
Like further by like end of March, mid-May. Right?
Maybe like unless we have a green candle that just flies up to there, which as of right now there is no reason to it. Where Bitcoin, it seems like crypto's 4-year cycle has technically already ended. Mm-hmm. But we're just not having that continuous downturn. We are down quite a bit from all-time high. So we're down 27%, a total of 36% with that wick. So we could see that people were calling for 74s and even 50s. Our current like bear market low that Alex and I have agreed upon is about 67. And on that same note, we can also be seeing something like a crazy uptrend of like something like that from like this candle, which doubtful. There's not enough data to really build that, but maybe. But as of right now, currently my highest high right now, until we break this, is 100K. And then our next real big goal would be 106K with this 200-day SMA.
Yeah,
there's real
like a pretty solid like spots like. Sorry.
So no, I was just gonna say like we did break out of this downtrend, so technically we could push up to here. Like this would be a good spot, and then ideally to keep this bull momentum going is break above this 200. Break above then our 118 and then continuing that, but I feel like there's not a whole lot of momentum at this point in time. It's very lax.
True.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, if you look at like the total market cap, we're really like that's what point we're almost at, I believe 0.5 right there where that is. Yeah, you see, 0.5. So meaning it's retraced 50% of the move. The market cap retraced 50% of the move. It also broke out. So our new resistance zone in the market cap would be if money would start to come back in or move out of, come back in, would be to right around here. Maybe even breaking this at a future date, but we're far from that as of right now to go parabolic, as the kids like to say.
Can you show me October 10th? Can you zoom into October 10th? That long one right there.
No, this is October 9th. Oh, no, this is the 10th.
Yep. So the chief investment officer of Bitwise, he released a statement on Tuesday saying that there would be 3 catalysts that are required for a crypto rally this year. Mm-hmm. One of them is not that. Like no more major liquidation events. He said specifically these potential sales hung over the market like a heavy fog. And he also said that concerns are like kind of like in the rear view mirror, like kind of like moving back, almost saying that like it's kind of unlikely for a major event like that to happen again. Then he said like the second catalyst would be having a more stability in the market, and in the equity market specifically, I guess. Another quote says, a sharp collapse, say 20% pullback in the S&P 500 would take the shine off of all risk assets in the short term, crypto included. So the equity market needs to stay stable rather than surging or crashing.
Well, S&P is on its way up.
Yeah, it's on its way up, but would you call it like surges? Because like,
bro, listen, I don't know what he means by surges, but it just continues to go up, right? Like, look.
Yeah, so Ryan Schoen said that the equity market would need to stay stable.
The thing is, it's hard to say what is stable in the equity markets just because prices can only really do 3 things, right? Up, down, sideways. And typically when you go down really hard, you have to go up again. And if you go sideways for very long, a move up or down has to happen. So like one causes the other.
So then the final catalyst is the passing of legislation, particularly the Clarity Act, which the David Sachs, the crypto Cesar, he had said that we are closer than ever, passing the bill, where Senate is going to be having a markup on January 15th.
Nice. So that's getting there.
Yeah, Hugh said, if the bill can make it through markup, it would represent a huge step towards approval. Without legislation, the current pro-crypto regulatory tilt could reverse under new administration. Passage of the act would enshrine core principles into law and provide a strong foundation for the future growth.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, the thing is,
that can happen at any point this year.
At any point, not just that, since the U.S. government is in turmoil with so many different things, like an example would be what's the word I'm looking for? The tariffs are going to get spoken about, are going to get the court is going to discuss, give what's the word? Give thoughts on what they just give thoughts or just discuss the,
like a hearing.
To make not really a hearing though. It's like they already had their first like listen of like both sides, and then they're just gonna give essentially thoughts of what remarks. They're gonna give remarks, and then from there they continue the process. See if Trump has to refund the reciprocal tariffs, which is a crap ton of money.
Refund,
and now
who would get those refunds? The companies,
I believe. Yeah,
the local American companies that paid. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of money. I don't know where they're gonna pull that money out of.
Not just that's a lot of money. One, they have to refund it, but then you also just screwed over every consumer because they're not gonna get refunded for what they spent.
True that.
It's like, what are we doing here?
I didn't think of that.
Like, what are we doing here? You're going to refund these multi-billion-dollar companies for what they spent, but you're not going to refund the consumers?
Put it on their tax forms. No one pays taxes this year.
Right? Or maybe not just like big companies, right? Because other smaller companies also had to pay these tariffs.
Don't give it to the companies. Just distribute it equally amongst all Americans.
You can. You have to give it back to the countries, to the ones who...
To the companies that bought from other countries? Not just equally to... Nah.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
I personally think if they find that they can't, because I don't think what you're saying they could do, I would say is, okay, you have to cut you can't do reciprocal tariffs the way you did it. However, I can't make you return the money just because the consumers are not going to get the money they spent, and those are the ones who really get affected. So keep the money. You're going to give tax breaks to X. We're implied ideally give tax breaks
to all Americans.
No, definitely not all Americans. No, a specific class of Americans, and then
what specific class of Americans?
I would say lower. Anyone making less than $250,000 a year. Yeah,
fair. Anyone that's not one of the big companies.
Like if you, I'm sure there are. Less than what?
I'd say less than 500,000.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm like dude. If you're struggling with 500,000 though, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's not so much about the struggle. It's more. So
I know.
It's more so like not the millionaires, like the people making $1 million a year, which there's not many of them, but like they definitely like.
There's actually a good amount of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying in ratio wise.
I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of them too.
Are people making $1 million clean in their pocket?
Yeah.
That's the 1%.
I don't.
Dude, your keyboard's so quiet. If I start typing, mine is gonna start going.
So top 1% of earners, you're considered top 1% of earners if you're making $787,000 annually.
Okay, so I overshot it by a little bit.
Yeah, but no, you're on the money.
Yeah, so like you literally like those people. Anything like that's why I say 500,000. Like you're definitely not on the 1%, and we all know that the majority of the wealth is held by the 1% of that 1%.
Yeah. So you're gonna tell me that the majority of Congress are all millionaires? Then they're like a 1%er.
Yes. Well, the majority of Congress, I don't think they make over $700,000. There's a lot of people that make over $700,000.
No, they make $150,000.
Yeah,
their
salaries, their government,
but their
salaries.
assets. I'm saying their asset values.
But like, but that okay. So, if you search up what I think you searched up is annual income. So yeah, their assets probably still put them. So what you're talking about is like the wealth, income, because you could make $750,000 a year and you're in the 1%. But if your expenses are $800,000, like you're quite literally like burning through money.
Yeah.
I don't think you make it that high, spending that much money. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so they say they analyze revised nationality. Roughly 800,000 taxpayers had an annual income of $1 million or more, up from 470,000 in 2013. Notably, even the higher figures account for roughly 0.5 of the 153 million income tax returns filed in 2022, according to Tax Foundation. So this is like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like the number. Okay, 0.5. Yeah, but 0.5% of 300 million.
Yeah.
So 15 million people make.
No, they just told you the number.
What?
Oh, did they not say the number of people who make more than $1 million a year?
Yeah, 800,000. My number is way off. I'm stupid. Oh, out of the 153 million income taxes. Of course, I did the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
800,000 people.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's a sizable number. I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of people who make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But ratio-wise, it's...
Yeah, ratio-wise, you're right. 100% tiny.
I don't have much to say anymore.
And you have to get going.
I went through all my... oh, yeah. Gotta pack.
Yeah.
I got a baby shower to go to.
Ooh. Nice. Well, boys and girls, hopefully you liked the episode. It was quite a bit long one. Respectfully,
it was a long one. I was prepared for it to be a little long. I wanted to make up some lost time.
Yeah.
Well, if you made it this far, please share. Please like, comment.
Don't forget, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. I don't know where else. Facebook. We're on Facebook too.
We're on Facebook? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like you said, like, subscribe, follow, hit notification bell. We'll be back for another week. We'll be back next week.
Yes, for another episode of your favorite crypto podcast.
Sometimes crypto.
The Unscripted
Crypto Podcast. Hey, yo.